Yeah, I think they're gonna go in there and spar. I don't think it's gonna be you trying to kill me or I'm trying to kill you. You know, I think it's let's go in here and make this money. You know, it's more of a business tactic than anything.
100%.
And he went from Disney to, you know, getting paid what I told you. World champions that have dedicated their whole life to this sport,
Yeah,
they will never get paid. Not even a percentage.
Or are you about it because it's more the sport of boxers?
Nah, it don't bother me because if I was in that position, I'd be happy. I always look at it like that. Like if I was in that position, I'd be happy making all these millions of dollars. You know, it don't count. It's just for show. I mean,
Terence Crawford reacts to the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul matchup, calling it a business move rather than a real fight. He points out the huge weight gap between the two and says it's more for entertainment and money than competition, noting that while Tank is explosive and Jake is strong, this is all about business, not boxing.
Big for Tank, you know. In reality, he's way too big for Tank. Like Tank is very talented, punch hard, explosive, the whole 9 yards, but
yeah, because some people say Jake's fight's rigged. He's like suing people now that say they're rigged. You see that? But how could they rig it before? Because like, what if they just say, oh, we're gonna go soft on each other, and then Tank just fucking throws it right at Jake?
Jake can punch with that right hand. Like I seen him, you know what I mean, up close in person. Like dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like, there was times where, you know, him and Tyson, you know, was in the ring and he could have, like, laid it on Tyson, but he kind of, like, held back.
You could tell.
And that's the same with Tyson. Like, Tyson could have caught Jake with something and he just, like, you know, so you can see it.
If you had to choose someone to win that fight, who do you think wins?
Honestly, I think Jake by youth.
Really?
Terence Crawford says the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul fight is just business, not boxing, pointing out the big weight gap and entertainment focus.
Right. Explain this to me, not in basketball terms, just such a funny internet game, but explain this to me like a third grader. What is an exhibition fight?
I don't even know, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. All I know is that Jake is making, God damn.
But when they say
God bless Jake, bro, because this is what he figured out. He figured out this. He figured out boxing is all about attention.
100%.
And he went from Disney to, you know, getting paid what I told you. World champions that have dedicated their whole life to this sport,
Yeah.
they will never get paid. Not even a percentage of what he's making.
Yeah.
But because attention brings dollars. It doesn't matter if it's a podcast, if it's a movie premiere, if it's boxing. If there's no attention on it, you're not going to make no money from it.
This is like the WNBA conference. That's
For
why
sure.
they don't make the money, because they don't have the attention.
No, for sure. I was at the WNBA yesterday. That shit was lit, bro.
It was lit?
I was chopping it up with Floyd was there.
It was
Like,
good?
people they won by like I think 1 or 2 points. But I was standing up and I was jumping, you know, it was the finals though.
Yeah.
It's the finals. So all that aside, I just feel like Gervonta could crack though, bro.
Oh, of
Gervonta
course.
could crack. I mean,
So this is what I want
sparring, he's sparred light heavyweights and heavyweights before. Like this ain't nothing new.
Even tall guys.
For sure.
Yeah, so what I really want to ask you in regards to that fight is like, obviously someone like Gervonta is not, in his mind, he's not going to go out there and look stupid, no matter how it goes.
Right. No, he's not.
But that's what when I see it's an
He's not.
exhibition fight, I'm like, what does that mean?
And you can still get knocked out. You know, I feel like that means there's not going to be no winner.
No effect on the record.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. But you could get knocked out.
So you don't think, because like, you know, the beef now is like, this shit's the WWE.
Even though it's an exhibition, Gervonta Davis is taking Jake Paul seriously, training like it's a title fight. He wants to prove his dominance and show the difference between a real pro and a celebrity boxer.
Anytime you start hitting Jake with some shit, he ain't gonna fight back. He said, "Fat." He had you on a hit list before this fight even happened. So his mental is on you. So you have to take him serious.
What Tank Davis doesn't know he's risking is crazy. I hope he knows now. The fan base doesn't know what Tank's risking. Y'all just seeing it as WWE shit. That Jake Paul is an opportunist, and that Jake Paul is gonna try to knock him out. He's gonna try to knock him out, do this, cross his arms. He's gonna try to do that shit. If he hits Tank and Tank has Bambi legs, that goes viral. Jake Paul gave Tank Bambi legs. He'll get trolled so much, Tank may retire. Tank got to knock that guy out, and y'all don't realize it. And regardless of the reality of it being an exhibition, that shit, the sight of that is going to go viral. Tank going to have to take him.
Analysts like Danny Garcia believe the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul fight is more entertainment than sport. They say it's a business move designed to draw attention and revenue, but it still sparks curiosity about how a bigger, less experienced Jake will fare against a smaller, explosive Tank. Some think this could be one of Tank's last big events before retirement, a smart way to boost his brand and end his career on a high note.
Tank Davis is going to retire after this fight. Sometimes you get a big payday like that against a fight like Jake Paul, like you as a professional boxer, does that shit bother you, or are you about it because it's promoting the sport of boxing?
No, it don't bother me because if I was in that position, I'd be happy. I always look at it like that. Like if I was in that position, I'd be happy making all these millions of dollars. You know, it don't count. It's just for show. I mean, it's a win-win. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the fight. It's the prize.
Does Tank Davis get it done with Jake Paul? Jake Paul's a little bit bigger.
It's interesting, man. I don't think it's gonna be easy for none of them. I think it's gonna be interesting because Jake is a big dude and Jake is not a bum. Like Jake knows how to fight a little bit.
Right.
And Tank is a lot smaller. I think it's gonna be entertaining for sure. I'm definitely gonna be tuned in because I just want to see like the outcome for sure.
Damn,
Right.
You
So
have it, Kamaro. See?
I've been saying that. I think, see, Danny, you can attest to this. I see when Jake came into the sport of boxing, it's just, of course, we say, oh, it's just a goofy YouTuber or a content creator coming into the actual combat sports. He came in with such hype and so many eyeballs to where at first it didn't look the greatest, but he's really proved it. The more people have doubted him, the more people have hated on him, the more people have said these things about him, the more it's fueled his fire to where he stayed in the gym enough to where you see Jake now running off combinations, and he actually kind of looked like a boxer.
Yeah, he definitely stepped it up. I mean, everybody in the beginning was like, man, I've been doing this my whole life. Like, we can't let somebody come in here and just make all this money. And everyone said that as a boxer, but as he kept doing it, like I kind of started to respect it because how many people could really like turn one fan base into another? You know what I mean? Like, you could be a YouTuber and then you could try to be like a rapper and your fans don't go with you. Like, his fans really followed him to the boxing world. Like, you gotta respect, he got a loyal fan base because it's like if I try to drop a song, nobody gonna listen to it, you know what I mean?
According to Showbiz, both fighters face immense pressure in this matchup. For Jake Paul, it's his last chance to prove he belongs in boxing after facing older opponents and celebrities. For Gervonta Tank Davis, losing to Jake, even in an exhibition, would be humiliating. Though promoted as entertainment, both are taking it seriously. Jake aims to prove himself against a real champion, while Tank fights to defend boxing's honor. This shared pressure makes the exhibition feel like a real high-stakes battle.
This is a situation where there's a good chance he'll have to retire, like he said after this fight. Let me tell you what I mean. With everyone saying that Jake Paul's fights are fake, Jake Paul brand cannot afford this fight to be a play-around fight that goes the distance. It just can't afford it. If it goes the distance and it's tit for tat and everybody it's like a sparring session, Jake Paul's brand is going to take an enormous hit. I don't think Jake Paul's brand can afford it. I think Jake Paul knows that. And he's going to go out there throwing haymakers, trying to knock out Tank. I'm telling y'all, and y'all keep playing around. Y'all keep telling Tank that it's fake. Y'all keep saying, whatever. And what's gonna happen is Jake Paul playing possum is going to try to knock this guy out and go viral. Bro, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the size. It doesn't matter anything, bro, because it's going to go viral and everybody's gonna roast the hell out of Tank. And I'm saying, Tank, you gotta take this fight seriously. I don't know what was said to you, but don't listen to your fans. Your fans, the tanky wankies, been setting you up to lose forever. Brother, listen to the biz. Don't listen to anyone else. Your only option is to take Jake seriously and knock him out. That is, brother, that is your only option. Because Jake Paul knows that's his only option. He's just not saying it.
Leonard Ellerby defends Gervonta Davis, saying critics ignore boxing's business side. Not every fight, like with Shakur Stevenson or Lomachenko, is possible. He says Tank's choices are smart business moves, not signs of avoiding challenges.
30-0 or whatever his record is. He's undefeated, but he's never fought anybody. He never does anything. He never tried to make a fight with Vasily Lomachenko. He never wanted to fight Shakur Stevenson. He didn't fight Devin Haney. And they go and list a bunch of stuff that he did not do, right? But don't want to look at the facts related to whether or not he could even do the things that they're asking him to do. So Leonard Ellerby used, for example, what was said about Vasily Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis, and Gervonta ducking Vasily Lomachenko when Vasily Lomachenko was at 130 pounds. So there was video that was shared on in the stream, the thread of tweets, I think that, or yeah, tweets, I guess that's the right way to say it, in which Bob Arum is on tape saying, "What do I look like trying to make big fights for Gervonta Davis? My job is to make fights for my fighters. I have plenty of good fights that I can make for Vasily Lomachenko, for Shakur Stevenson, for Devin Haney, for these people in my promotional company that I can make good fights for. I don't need to go outside and make a fight outside of Top Rank." That is what that's what the owner president of Top Rank, Bob Arum, said about making a fight with Gervonta Davis and Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko was also on tape the same time saying, "Why would I fight Gervonta Davis? There's nothing in that for me." And do you know why that was the case? Because Gervonta Davis at the time was not a big name yet.
Analysts say Gervonta Tank Davis fights for respect and legacy, not just money. Every move he makes is watched closely, so he can't afford to take any bout lightly. Even in exhibitions like the one against Jake Paul, his reputation is on the line. Tank aims to prove he's a true champion who values professionalism over fame or money.
When that stool ain't brown or green, if it's red, go to the doctor.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, Tank Davis and Jake Paul, they fight in November. I personally have Tank. You know what I'm saying? I just don't, because Tank is a little different. He ain't like them other niggas who took a fall. Tank ain't finna take no fall, bro.
That's what I think too. I think like, bro got a reputation to maintain. He ain't about to just, you know what I'm saying, sign a deal just for some money.
Just for some bread.
I ain't like, it's about the money though, for sure.
For sure.
But I'm not about to.
But what they get, like 20, he got like 20 million?
But yeah, 20, I ain't gonna lie, Tank probably get 20, 30, 40.
I don't know. Tank need to get more than that because it's bringing Jake Paul more money than, you know what I'm saying?
Anything, but you know, Jake Paul putting up the purse, he putting up everything.
Oh, okay.
He paying for promotions, he paying for everything.
So he getting all whatever he get.
You know what I'm saying? So hey, I can only, I think it's a 60-40 cut or something like that.
I ain't mad at that.
So it's like you getting 40% and you all got to do is show up and fight.
No, facts.
That's all you got to do is show up. And then 9 times out of 10, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be a draw.
No. Tank gonna knock his. Well,
you think so?
Let me not speak too fast, but I know Tank. I pray.
Nate Diaz says the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul fight is just entertainment, not real combat. He sees it as a business event for money and hype, not true competition.
Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think.
He's just too small.
It just. I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody else. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually.
You think
I'm not hating on the fight, but I think My thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah, that's,
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE. So
Right.
it's like, at least that's happening and it's getting something to talk about, something to watch. And
The huge size difference between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis at press conferences amused fans and commentators. Jake towers over Tank, making the matchup look almost unreal. Many see it as more of a publicity show than a fair fight, highlighting that this clash is driven by spectacle, money, and attention rather than sport.
When this fight was announced, I thought it was just like, you know, fabricated, just like something to hype stuff up. But after seeing like the weigh-ins, I mean, just look at, he has to bend down to be, it's absolutely crazy. And I've said this before, this isn't going to do either fighters any favors, right? Gervonta Davis, he wins. So what? You beat a YouTuber. You lose. You lost to a YouTuber. You know what I mean? They won't even care about the size. Jake Paul wins. He beats some small dude. You know what I mean? Jake Paul loses. Well, I don't even know. Like, it's all bad. You know, no one is winning in this fight regardless. And I just think that it's absolutely absurd. But hey, that's what boxing is nowadays. It's more so about the show, right? Instead of actually being competitive at this point. But at the same time, it kind of is competitive because obviously everyone knows that Gervonta Davis has better boxing skills than Jake Paul. We're gonna see if that's going to matter when the guy has 60 pounds on you. So
Analysts say the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight was long planned to draw global attention. Jake has size, but Tank's speed, skill, and experience could expose the gap between a showman and a true boxer.
Negotiations to have this fight happen if Tank Davis beats his previous opponent, which obviously ended in a draw. Which means he's obviously going to go and rematch Lamont Roach in his next fight. But come on, Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. Jake Paul is a cruiserweight / heavyweight. Tank Davis is a lightweight. This is Jake Paul's mindset. Okay, I'll fight a legit professional boxer, OAP. I'll fight a legitimate professional boxer who's his age, loses. Okay, I'll fight another professional boxer who's half his weight. Honestly, I don't care how big Jake Paul is, I genuinely do think that Tank Davis would beat Jake Paul. I think Tank Davis would be too fast, too slick, outbox him, move around. He wouldn't knock him out, obviously. I don't think he'd knock him out because of how big Jake Paul is, but he would outbox him 100%. But anyway guys, let me know what you guys think about this potential fight. I really hope it does not happen because Jake Paul needs to fight a legitimate pro who isn't a taxi driver, who isn't old, and isn't half his weight.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.
That concludes the video for today. Keep an eye out till the next occasion.